because there are things that's gonna make you upset. But it's Japanese people say shoganai. It means just it can't be helped, and they just move on with it. Like you'll be mad, and then the boss will come like Kenzo, shoganai, and you'll be like, okay, and that's it.
Be self-quarantining.
And a quarantine order.
Quarantined in their...
Held in quarantine.
Quarantine.
The quarantine in place.
Quarantine for the required 14 days.
Hey, what up, people? I am your friendly neighborhood Negro, JC, and you was back listening to the QT Quarantine Talks, cuz. All right, yeah, West Coast. I'm gonna stop right now. This is a very special episode featuring another international guest, my boy Kenzo Sturtevant, coming all the way from Japan. All right, he's gonna be the voice that y'all hear in a few moments. But first, a little background. Kenzo is an American-born Japanese expat from Baltimore, American. Baltimore, stand up. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore, it's time for the percolator. Hey, that's my neighbor, because I'm from DC or whatever. But anyway, his father, however, is originally from Japan, and after visiting at the age of 16, he decided that he liked it so much that he was going to stay. Don't blame him, because America. We talk about what it's like being black in Japan and what preconceived notions Japanese people may have about us, and then adapting to the culture and social norms therein, because Japan is a different place. Then, while it is one of the safest countries on earth, it has an extremely high rate of suicide and alcoholism. So we pivot towards mental health and the culture of walking depression that people there experience. We also discuss what it's like during COVID, America and Trump, and some of y'all cousins that voted for him. Mask wearing, like how basic that is. I know. Don't get me started. We also talk about how we first met at a random ass dive bar in Tokyo and the love of his life and current fiance, Masa. And last but not least, we discuss the difference between Tokyo and New York City trains, missing home, vending machines. Yes, people, if you don't know, there are more vending machines in Japan than there are people. And the Japanese saying that describes much of their lives. Shoganai. Heads up, guys, this will be the last podcast for a while as we wrap up season 2 and get ready to get you guys some more content for season 3. Also going to be dropping a new podcast, a new micro podcast, in the top of 2021, either February or January, depending on when we get the paperwork straight. So yeah, we got way more shit coming up for you guys. So just stay tuned, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready, and let's jump in. Let's go. What time are you starting to work?
Tonight?
Today? Wait, we're doing this again.
Remember, so you know how you guys would go to work 9 to 5?
Yeah.
So while you're working, technically think of me as working at the same time. I work at night here, so I work same time as you during the day, like you guys.
But what yeah, that's right. Okay, because it's morning there and it's night here. You're right. Okay. This is the most aggravating thing. I swear, getting adjusted to time zones and shit. Oh, okay. Give me this. I'm trying to find something that so I got my laptop. I'm just sitting on the floor. How about that? Because I got my laptop. No. Damn, I forgot. So, what's the barber situation over there looking like? Do you have a barber?
I do have a barber. I have a barber.
Is he?
My barber.
Is he black?
No.
Is he mixed at least?
No.
Okay.
It's Japanese. I go to 2 different places sometimes. One place I go because it's really stylish looking place, and I like how they shave my beard and stuff like that. They have they do extra care. But the other place I go to it's a black owned business, and
black owned.
But yeah, the guys.
You live by the military base.
No. It's in Roppongi.
Roppongi. Is that in Tokyo?
Place in Roppongi. No, it's really close to the station, but it's owned by a guy from Ghana, and he is another black guy in there. So sometimes I go there to get my haircut, but sometimes I go to the other place.
I feel and they know how to cut black hair?
Who,
the Japanese?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really, but not really. People in Japan don't really know. If you want someone who knows how to cut a black person's hair, you'll have to find a black barber. Or someone who is around black people often.
I feel like that is probably got to be like the worst part about this, being a black man in Japan, because it's like the barber situation is just like dire. Like,
yeah. I need a haircut, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't really think about getting my haircut so often. I normally just take it off by myself, but recently I really want a nice haircut.
Like I be feeling for you, bro. I'm like, God damn. Like
my dad and brother are here. My dad's a hairstylist. My brother's a barber too.
Wait, who's black? Your mom or your dad?
My dad is a quarter black.
Okay.
And my mom is half black and half something else. I don't know what she is.
Okay. But so who?
So I'm like 50% Japanese and like 40% black and something else. I think. But yeah, my she's mixed with two different, like, I think somewhere, I don't know where her mom is from, but yeah, but basically I'm like 50-50 black and Japanese.
So what, I guess like the question, how did you end up in Japan? Like,
my mom and my dad got divorced a long time ago when I was little kids. And then my dad just said, hey, you guys want to come to Japan? He was going to go back home. So I was like, okay, we just came here. But then my sister didn't necessarily like going to school in Japan. So she went back to the States. And then my brother moved to Hawaii. And my dad moved to Hawaii too. And I just stayed here.
Wow. Moving to Hawaii is like the most Japanese thing. Like, I swear to God. Like, but they have like the best food. Like, they have the closest to authentic tasting Japanese food this side of non-Asia. Like, it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, definitely. And and ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Quarantine Talks. Y'all might be wondering who I've been talking to for a little bit. Very special guest, live and direct from Tokyo. Wait, are you still in Tokyo? You're not in Tokyo.
No.
Anymore.
Yeah.
From somewhere in Japan that's close to Tokyo. My boy Kenzo, man. Go ahead and introduce, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, where you from, what you do, brother.
Hey, my name is Kenzo Sturtevant. I live in Japan. I live in Odawara, Japan. It's a little, maybe 2 hours away from Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a day trader. I trade during the day, but it's the day in America, so I have to trade at night here.
Right. We've had this has been like a month in the making. Until finally he broke down and just was like, "Yo, can I call you?"
I'm sorry. I'm flaky sometimes, you know.
He is flaky, but I'm gonna give you that.
The time difference.
Exactly.
It just gets me.
Exactly. And so I was like, I'm not even like, I am a person that sometimes pays attention to my phone, and then like, if it's near me, but if it's not near me, I don't care about it. So I was like, I can only imagine like, and that's with people that live here in this continent. So I can only imagine like, you know, me, I'm like, we're 13 hours apart in time. So it's like,
only time I ever use my phone is to upload something, and that's it. That's all I don't like to message people too often.
Which is so like not Japanese at the same time. It's like,
well, I'm not all Japanese.
Well, yeah, I know that. I know. It's just funny. I don't know. It's just.
I'm at this mindset. Well, I'll get to you. I'll get to you eventually.
Yeah, you get to me when you get to me. God, man, like, yo, so you're from Baltimore, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore, but I think my accent's kind of weird now.
It is, bro. You sound like half British, half like South African or something. Like, it's weird to listen to you. It's a very interesting twang.
I'm from Uganda. You didn't know that?
From Uganda. Oh man. You already kind of said like that part about how you ended up in Japan. Like, yo, what is it like living there?
As a black person, or just what is it like living in Japan in general?
I think both, man. I think both.
Japan it's different, you know.
Very.
The people here, like, they have this mindset where they don't like to stand out. So things that stand out, it's not necessarily that they're, especially where I live in a place where there's not many black people also. When they see me, it's not like, ew, it's a black person. It's more like, oh wow, it's a black person.
Black person.
Yeah. Like they don't get to see a lot of black people often because of where I live. It's just so local that there are not many. So when they see me, they just like, wow, it's a black person. But when I meet new friends, they're always really excited to talk to me because they don't know anything about black people. So they ask a lot of strange questions sometimes.
Like strange, like what?
No, sometimes they'll ask like certain like stereotypes are true or not, like certain things about black people. They ask like, is that true? Like, can all black people sing? And they'll ask certain questions like that.
We were in like when me and my boy were there. I don't think you met James. Nah, James left before. James left before I even like encountered you and fucking
Kenny.
Thank you. Yeah. That's so sad. So like backstory, I was in Japan like 2 years ago for my 30th birthday trip. And like I am the type of person that when I go somewhere, I don't like to hit up touristy spots. Like I'll do it, then I get in and I get out.
Surprised to see you in there.
Exactly. I get in and I get out. Like I don't like to be where other people that aren't like locals are, right?
I understand that. That's how I feel.
So I go into this bar and then I see Kenny. Now Kenny's Spanish. Kenny is where is he from? Not Venezuela. He's Ecuadorian, right? So Kenny's Ecuadorian. So I walk in and I'm like, wait, because he kind of looks like, and then I look at him again and I was like, nah, he ain't from here. He's from somewhere. So, you know, we start talking and Kenny's from NYC and he's like, yo. And I'm like, yo, you're American? And he was like, I am. I'm like, you're American?
He was visiting there too.
Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy how that all worked out. And all of a sudden, I see another black person, and it's this guy right here. It's Kenzo. And I was like, holy shit.
I always hang out there. That's my hangout spot.
And so I was like, whoa, what are you doing here? And he's like, I live here. And I'm like, oh shit. And he was like, and he starts speaking Japanese, and I'm like, oh shit, you're Japanese. And that was pretty much that was the genesis of me knowing this guy right here. So fast forward, my other homeboy comes, and back to what you were saying about the stereotypes. So we were in Foot Locker in Harajuku, and we met more Americans. Like the chick was Puerto Rican, and
Foot Locker. Oh, you meant Kick Slap.
Kicks, whatever it is, dude. I don't know. Beside the mall, like that big store beside the mall.
Yeah.
So, all right. And she's telling us, like, she's from New York, too. Like, I'm like, why are all the black people or other people that aren't Japanese from New York? Like, everybody in Japan that's not Japanese is from New York. And so she's like, yo, if you guys, she was like, y'all got to go towards the military base in Kanagawa. And I'm like, why? She's like, the Japanese girls will love y'all. I'm like, wow. She was like, you know, black dudes. You know what they say about black dudes? You know what I'm saying? Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, actually, even Japanese people are really curious about, you know, how big we are down there. They want to know. And even they'll ask you, like, are you guys, they're big? And I'm like,
I mean, I
don't know how to respond to your question.
Like, are we comparing? Like, is it a comparative thing? Like, I don't really...
Compared to y'all, yeah. I'm just saying.
And so I just feel that when you were like the stereotypes thing, and I don't know, man. So it's like, but
close to that the military base, a lot of Japanese people who hang around there, they like foreigners because they're already used to them because they always see them.
Right. But I was just gonna say, like, I can understand, like, so when we were in Tokyo proper, like the downtown area, like me and my boy, we got like attention, but it wasn't like stares. Now, when we went to like our Airbnb, that was about maybe 25, 30 minutes away from like the Harajuku, what's the spot called? The touristy spot in the middle in the middle of Tokyo. Like, what's the touristy spot?
There's lots of them. You talking about Shibuya? No,
and not Shibuya.
Kind of like a big street with a castle at the end of it.
It's where that robot restaurant is.
Oh, that's in Shinjuku.
Shinjuku, yes. Okay, so like when we got away from Shinjuku, like we would walk. I was Googling and I found like this market or whatever, and so like, we were walking through the market and like people were like, "Oh, black people," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So like we're away from where the tourists come because like everybody
you're
is
away
like,
from where black people or where tourists normally go.
Yeah.
They're not normally like, especially if you come to like down here, people will look at you because they never seen black people before. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I've never felt someone not liking me because I'm black. Never. I've never felt that way in Japan. But I felt that some people don't like me because I'm a foreigner. That's how more of it is in Japan. It's not just black people. They just don't. Some people just don't like foreigners in general.
What's the slang word for foreigner?
Gaijin?
Gaijin, yeah, that's right, Gaijin. That's how I was like, I put that on all my pictures. I was like the dark-skinned Gaijin. But yeah, so it's just interesting to like hear that. And it's like, when I was there, it's not like it's China or anything, like mainland China where like they come up and pull your hair, like nothing like that. But it was definitely, I can say like, it was a little bit of bewilderment mixed with like
curiosity.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's cautious. Like it's very cautious. You know what I'm saying? And it's like some people can speak English, some people can't. And you know, me, I'm the type of person like I'm gonna try my best to speak Japanese. So you know, I would walk up and I'm like, "Hi," and then I would speak Japanese and think, "Oh," and it immediately changes the tone. It's like, "Oh, okay, you're trying. Okay, cool. Let me help you out." Like you know,
when they realize that you can understand them, then the mode that they're in, the mindset changes, and they're like, "Oh, you can understand me," but there's always a limit. Like you'll never be accepted as a Japanese person, no matter how long you live here, just because you don't look the way they look. Mm-hmm. But I can understand that. I mean, Japan's only been open for not even 100, like maybe 100 years, right? Really? So a little over 100 years. So it's not the most open of countries, but they don't come up on the street and just like arrest you or like something like that.
Yeah, hassle you. Like, yeah.
They won't hassle you. They won't cause you any problems. I feel like that won't happen.
As out of place as I felt sometimes there, because again, very dark skinned brother here. I stick out like a sore thumb. And it's like as out of place as I felt, I never felt like what's the word? What I'm trying to say? Like I never felt like I was like what's the word? Like
in danger.
In danger. Yeah, thank you. I've never felt like I was in danger. It was just,
I've never once in my entire time, I've been here for 12 years, never once felt like I'm in trouble just because I'm here.
Right.
I feel like police are going to attack me. Right. I feel like something bad's going to happen to me. Never. You can walk down a dark street at the middle of the night, 2 a.m, nothing will happen to you. Nothing happens to you. Japan is one of the most safest places I've ever been.
Right. It's so crazy. It's crazy.
It's like they care about the community, so they don't want to cause trouble in their own community.
Mm-hmm. The standard.
So Japan is special. It's a really special place. It's unique.
The standard of like
manners, acceptance.
Yeah. What is it called?
What do you mean?
The God, there's a word for it. Like the standard, it's like manners. Like, you know, like
manners.
Not being on your phone and walking, like the little signs that say stuff. Like, you know, like
they obey the rules in Japan. Japan, when the government just sets a rule, they obey it because they don't want to cause trouble. You know, like one time I was riding my bicycle to the train station, and when I got to the train station, I realized I dropped my wallet. What happened was my wallet fell out of my pocket while I was riding my bicycle. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, I dropped my wallet. I'll go find it. I never felt like someone stole my wallet. And I found it. Someone took my wallet to the police station. And I went to the police station and said, hey, did someone bring my wallet? Like, yeah, it's right here.
Dude, that was so me and Kenny were talking about that. Like, that was the craziest thing. Like, I mean, the amount of I don't know, like, I don't know what the word is, like humanity or something. Like, you leave your phone at a table to reserve your space. You can literally, I think I did too. Like, I left something somewhere.
Oh, left my laptop on the table and says, I'm sitting here.
Yes. And I forgot it was there. And I came back and it was still there.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so...
Nobody will take it.
Yeah, no. There's no theft. Like, it's so wild.
If your stuff gets taken, I guarantee you it won't be... I can't guarantee you, but I'm pretty sure...
9 times out of 10, it's not by a Japanese person. It's by a foreigner. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If somebody take that stuff. But the thing is, there's foreigners, but there's not enough to make an impact.
Exactly. Excellent.
And then Japanese people are just watching everything. So, like, they'll see you take something like, oh, that wasn't his. They'll know.
Oh, man, it was wild. And then, like, what else happened, which was so cool when I was there? So I was trying to go to, like, one of the bathhouses, like, with the hot springs or whatever. And so, like, I was in Starbucks. And I'm using the Google Translate to, like, ask questions. And so, like, I'm asking the barista, I'm like, hey, because, I got tattoos. So, in some places in Japan, you can't go in if you have tattoos. And so I was like, can I go here? And so, like, the barista understood what I was saying. He literally called every place on my list for me to ask for me if I could get in. I was like, that is crazy. I was like, thank you so much.
The sense of helping or not helping, being of service to someone is really strong in Japan. And that's one of the things I like. Like, they will try to help you as if they can. Mm-hmm. If they can't help you, they'll tell you, I'm sorry, I can't help you. But if they can help you, they will go as far as they can to help you.
Yeah, like it was very, I had never experienced that before. I was like, holy shit. Like, I would personally maybe do half, but not like the entire list. Like, it was like 10 places on that list and he called all 10. And I was like, wow, thank you so much. And he was like, no problem. Thank you. And I was
another person would be like, you could just call these numbers.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy, but it was wild. What else do I want to ask? Do I want to, like, jump in?
You also never receive bad service.
Very true.
You will never catch any of the workers get an attitude with you just because you're being difficult. They will try their absolute best to be as, they'll give you as best customers. Like, they believe the customer is always right. Mm-hmm. And it's really strong. Mm-hmm.
It was, and you said you've been here. So how old were you when you came to Japan?
16.
16? How long did it take you to, like, adjust culturally speaking? Like, from Baltimore to Tokyo? Like, that's a whoo.
I feel like, yeah, right? I was always a pretty open person, even when I was a kid. So it didn't take me long to adjust. But I probably, around the time I was 20, 22, is when I figured myself as more thinking on the Japanese side.
Do you ever feel like you're going to come back stateside, or are you just, like, happy over there, man?
My end game is definitely going to be in the States, like, when I decide to, settle down and everything. But right now, for the near future, maybe for the next, 20, 15 years, I'm probably still going to be here.
20, 15 years. That's more than the near future. Like, dog, that's a long time.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Like, that's a long time.
I don't want to go back to the States. I love living here.
How long did it take you to, like, learn kanji?
Kanji is like something you'll have to study every day. Like, even though I've been studying kanji since 8 years. Mm-hmm. And I'm still there are lots of things I can't read.
Really?
It's hard. It's like you have to keep studying. Even a lot of Japanese people can't read kanji sometimes.
Okay. So how many? Is it something like 2,000 characters or something like that?
No, there's over 10,000.
Oh, 10,000. Excuse me. Absolutely not. I'll be using Google Translate for everything. Like 10,000.
Most of the time, when I message people, I message on my phone. So sometimes if I don't understand something, I can just check what that means.
Oh, because it's like that's the other thing too. Like, that's the thing that got me was like, because after Japan, I went to Australia, and I had never been so happy to be able to read a street sign in my life.
Right.
And so, like, that was the main thing, is because it's like the only way that I could, like, kind of explain what Japan
You can't explain a kanji if you don't know what the kanji is.
Well, no, not kanji. I'm talking about, like, just the immense culture shock. It's like the only way I can explain to other people, like it's particularly Americans, like what Tokyo, Japan was like. I was like, imagine Times Square in New York, 5 p.m. times about 100. Like that is what Tokyo, Japan is like. But everything is organized. Everything runs in a straight line. Everything is where it's supposed to be. Like there's literally nothing out of place. And they're like,
nothing is out of place.
And they're like, I don't understand. And I'm like, exactly. You can't physically explain it until you see it. It's like
the cleanest part of New York City everywhere.
And the amount of buildings.
Times 1,000. Yeah, times 1,000. Like that's how big it is.
Yeah. And the amount of buildings, like, I'm like, yo, Tokyo, Japan makes Manhattan, New York look like a very quaint suburb in the middle of North Dakota. Like it is, I've never been. We went up to like that really big observatory place where you can see the entire city 360 view. Like nothing but buildings as far as
it's like Manhattan everywhere.
It's Manhattan everywhere. Like it was just like I said, culture shock, man. It was the most interesting 10 days of my life.
You'll get to the places where the houses are, and all the houses, even though they're nice houses, they're so close together. People don't have yards in Japan.
No.
Even in like where I live, people still don't have yards. Some people have yards, but even where I live, there's just houses, really in a small place. So like, it's a condensed place to live.
What is okay?
Even the farms are condensed.
The farm. I want to go. Like I didn't get a chance to go to like Odawara.
The countryside.
Oh yeah, I really wanted to, man. But it was like them damn train tickets was expensive, and I was like, yo, them damn train tickets was expensive. I was like, nah, I still gotta have some money left over for another continent, bro. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'll come back. Like now that you live in the countryside, right?
Yeah, I live in the countryside.
Yeah, I'll come back and like hit you up or something because now that I know somebody that lives over there.
I wouldn't say this is the countryside. I would say this is like a suburban area.
How far are you from Tokyo?
2 hours.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
It's a suburban place with mountains.
Ooh, I like.
There's lots of houses, lots of neighbors. Just there's mountains. That's it.
I like mountains.
Yeah, I do too.
I love mountains, man. So yesterday we talked, and I was like, so what is like Asia like with COVID-19? Like your part of, the world. Like what is that like? You were like, I got some stuff to say. So what you got to say, brother? Like what is it like being near where the shit first hit the fan?
Well, like Japan didn't really react at the beginning. Kind of like what happened in the States. They didn't want the hospitals to get overrun, so they kind of downplayed it. And they also downplayed it because they didn't want people to lose faith in the Olympics, which they eventually had to cancel anyway.
Right.
But they were just holding off because they wanted to be able to open the Olympics, because if they have to cancel the Olympics, that's trillions of dollars.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to cancel the Olympics, so they kind of downplayed it just to see if it would brush over, but it didn't. And there was a small spike in certain cities, so they asked everyone to stay home. And I don't know, I feel like people are trying to stay home. I feel like more people are trying to stay home since they declared it a national emergency. But I don't feel like everybody's trying. It's like the restaurants are still open, things are still open, but Japanese people kind of have cleanliness manners anyway. Right? So like wearing a mask outside is like, of course, kind of thing. So mostly everybody is wearing masks. Because wearing a mask is like something you must. It's like it's a part of Japanese culture. So like they already do it. Right.
The thing that tripped me out was like a lot of Japanese people don't cover their mouth when they sneeze or cough, and
that's for, I think you won't see a woman do that. I promise you that.
So it's a man thing.
It's an old man kind of thing.
Oh my God. That shit was like the first time it happened. I was like,
it was an old man, wasn't it?
I don't know. I think I was like standing on a train platform or something, but it was just like, dude was like, oh, I was like, yo.
You could hear it behind you, right?
He was like beside me, nigga. Like, yeah, I was like,
sometimes old men in Japan are like awful people.
I looked at him, and the way that I looked at him, he kind of stepped back. But it was like, because it just took me aback. Like, I was like, yo, where are your manners? Like, is this not a thing over here? Like, what is this? Cover
most people, it's not. It's a very few amount of people. It's just that you see, like, it's so few that when someone does it, it's really noticeable. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when someone does stand out in Japan, you can pick it out in a second because it's so like not supposed to be there. Yeah. Whereas though, like, if you're walking in New York and people sneeze all the time, you won't really pay attention to it because you've learned to drown out all the random noise around you, you know? But in Japan, there is no random noise. There's no, like, people screaming or things like that. So when a big noise happens, everyone's like, what? And they just look at it. So, like, the reason you notice that that shows maybe one or two instances is because they stand out so much. Mm-hmm. But a lot of Japanese people, some men just generally don't care. So I can say that for most people. Like, some Japanese guys, they'll go to the bathroom, they don't wash their hands after they use the bathroom. Not all of them, but a lot of them do.
Like, wait, so how long have you guys been on lockdown?
Me personally, I've been on lockdown for more than 2 months.
2 months? Wow.
I haven't left my house in 2 months just to go down the street for the supermarket. That's it.
Well, like, but is that like? Was that like?
They asked us to do that maybe a month and a half ago.
Okay.
They asked people to please stay home. In Japan, they can't force you to stay home. They can only ask you to stay home. Okay. They can't force businesses to close, which is why a lot of businesses didn't close. But they can ask them to close or ask them to take real strong precautions. But that's as far as they can do.
Do you guys have like a lot of cases and stuff though, or is it kind of like mild?
I don't. There's not that many deaths as far as much as I know. It hasn't been more than, I think, maybe 1,000 deaths, but I don't know exactly how many people are infected, but it's not getting so much attention because not many of my friends are talking too much about it. Well, it's kind of be like, coronavirus is really, it's around, right? They're like, yeah, it's around. But that's as far as we get into it. We don't really go into it too much. So I think a lot of information is not being passed along unless you're like always on social media.
I know, like, Japanese healthcare is the shit though. Like, but you guys are normally healthy people. Like, so that's the thing about it.
Japanese healthcare it's not free. We have to pay like a tax on it.
Okay.
But if I went to the hospital and I needed a CAT scan, MRI scan, I'd probably only have to pay $40.
Oh wow!
Because every month I'm already paying for like $100 a month, for just in case I have insurance anyway. So but when I really do need it. Nope. Just, even if I needed to stay a night in a hospital, probably wouldn't even be more than $100.
So, do you guys have like welfare systems and stuff? Like, so like with everybody staying at home, supposedly, like, the thing is here, like work.
You got the stimulus check, right?
Yeah.
Well, they passed out $1,000 for every single person in Japan.
Okay.
So, like, if you have a family of 5 people, then your family just got $5,000.
Okay, but is that like normal? Like, do you guys have like food stamp welfare?
Oh yeah. Like, I'm not sure because to be honest, I'm not on that side of the Japan, so I don't really know too much about how people who are underprivileged live. But I'm pretty sure there are lots of systems set in place to help those people.
Do you guys even have like underprivileged people? Yeah, like
they do. Japan does, but they keep them in a certain area.
Okay.
So like if you don't have money, you'll notice because they'll live in a certain type of apartment building, and it's called like it's assisted living. So like basically the government helps you to live here, but they live in this certain building. It doesn't look too bad on the outside, to be honest. It doesn't look like 4 people live here. But you when you see the building that this is where people who are underprivileged live. They also have homeless people, but you didn't see any when you were in Japan, did you?
Hell no, I ain't seen no homeless people.
They do, but they also stay in a certain area. They build their own houses.
Wait, the homeless people build their own houses?
Well, they build their own tents that are kind of like houses. They feel like they go to scrapyards and they'll build like
like a little shanty town type of situation.
They'll build their own shack basically.
Oh, well, that's resourceful. Like,
actually, the homeless people, I think a lot of the homeless people, they don't choose to be homeless, but they like some of them have jobs. They're kind of frugal with their money. Yeah, what's the word I'm looking for?
Cheap?
Yeah, they're just cheap. Some of them.
Wow, that is interesting.
If you go to Shibuya or to like main Tokyo, you'll see like one or two that come to the same streets, but they won't beg for money.
Is because begging is not like, I don't feel like begging is not a Japanese thing.
Not a part of Japanese culture.
Yeah, okay.
People do not beg.
But
even if like they won't if one of your best friends is having money problems, you won't know. They won't tell you.
It's also a very high rate of suicide.
That's one of the main reasons.
Yeah, it's I remember talking to you when you were teaching, and I think I said something about calling out sick, and you just looked at me and was like, "Why would I do that? I'm not sick." And I was like, "Yeah, but you're tired and you don't want to go to work." And you were like, "But if I call out sick, then that makes it harder for other people." And I was like,
"Yes,
what?
yes."
But I was like, "But you don't feel well." And he's like, "But I can still go to work." And I'm like, "But no, you're sick, bro." And he's like, "But yeah." And I was like, he was like,
it's not, I'm not sick enough where I can't work.
Exactly. And you said that to me, and because you weren't getting it for like a little bit. And then you looked at me and you were like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't do that here." You were like, nah.
No, it's not that we don't do it. It's like some people do it. It's just, but with most people, what they do is they think about the other coworkers. So like, right. if it's like this, like their throat is a little itchy and they don't have any fever, they just feel like they feel a little drowsy, they'll just put a mask on, take some, cough syrup medicine and go right to work. They just, because a lot of people don't, when they don't do something, other people have to do it for them.
Right.
They don't I think they don't want to burden others with their workload. So they just try as hard as they can to go to work.
So obviously high suicide rate means mental health is not that great, but like, do you guys not have like therapists and stuff, or is it just not customary to talk about your problems?
It's not customary to talk about your problems.
Okay.
People don't talk about their emotional problems much either. So Japanese people they just vary to themselves, and I think that's what causes a lot of suicide. They feel like if they open up about what's actually happening, then they'll stick out, and they don't want that to happen.
So like I said, like no therapist, no therapy, no nothing like that.
I've never heard of my Japanese friends going to therapy. I'm not saying that it's not around. None of my friends have ever told me they're going to therapy.
Okay. So like walking depression is a thing. Like
walking depression is a thing. If you look at the people, sometimes when you look in Japan, you'll see some people's faces. They're not happy to be alive, because in Japan, work is life. Okay.
So I guess that's what the weekend is for then, right? You just enjoy yourself on the weekend, and then on Monday.
Yeah, that's why a lot of Japanese, drinking is a very good part of Japanese culture. So drinking is very accepted in Japan. It's like let that man drink. Let him wind down. It's like that's another good part about Japan. You can drink anywhere, outside, anywhere. You're not driving. Driving is you don't drink and drive. You'll lose your license and you'll have to pay a huge fine. But drinking is really accepted. Sometimes you'll see people passed out because they drink too much, and nobody holds it against them. Like even the cops won't. Like if you did something while you were drunk, the cops will kind of feel more lenient. Like, well, he was drunk, so something happened, Yeah. So sometimes, drinking is really accepted by everybody. Wow. Yeah. You can drink. You can go to the 7-Eleven and get your drink if you want to.
Yeah, you can. It's alcohol is it's very accessible.
It's very accessible.
Sometimes it's even in the vending machines, which, by the way, that is okay. Vending machines and toilets are the two things I miss the most about Japan, because Japanese toilets are like the best thing I have ever experienced.
Japanese, the water system in Japan is really good. How you turn the hot water on, but
yes.
You have a thing that presets the temperature you want hot water to be.
Yes.
So you just turn the shower on hot, and it just goes that exact temperature you want it to be. Or even in the toilets too, the seats are warm.
The seats are warm. The bidet water is warm. There is a blower.
The water that washes you is warm.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. I miss Japanese toilets so much.
You can wash your hands with the water that's going to go in the toilet next before it gets dirty. So you can reuse the water. So you don't waste water. Some people think it's weird, but I think it's why the water's clean that's coming out of that faucet. So It's like, it's basically if you wash your hands in the sink, there's a sink over top of your toilet.
Oh yeah. Okay, I do remember that. Yeah. I was like, that took a little getting used to. But then, that was it was like I said, I really missed I remember landing in Sydney's airport, going to the bathroom, like, this is it.
Ew.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh my God, like, what is this? It's not clean.
I went to the States 2 months ago. I think, 2 months ago in February. I was like, I can't use the bathrooms here.
Exactly.
Like, I told my sister, like, Sumi, I can't use the bathrooms here. She's like, why? Because they're so dirty.
It's just...
Like, I can't even use the convenience store's bathroom. It's like, don't go to use the convenience store's bathroom. It's worse. I'm like, huh? But
oh yeah,
why don't they clean it?
You've been gone so long, bro. You've been gone. You got spoiled.
Even the train station bathrooms, train station bathrooms, like big stations, they'll smell like pee because people are constantly using them.
Right. Yeah.
But like when you go to like a normal bathroom at like even a park or anything, it's not going to be that dirty.
It's not. The dirtiest bathroom I saw was dirty like a little bit, but it wasn't like American.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it wasn't like American gas station.
It's a bathroom. It's not going to smell good. But some bathrooms smell really good. I don't know how they do it.
Right.
Some bathrooms smell really good. But
yeah. Like, I was just like,
okay, this bathroom is not clean, but it's not the dirtiest bathroom I've ever seen.
I was like, why do I have to go back to America with these basic ass toilets? Like, I don't understand. Because they basic, bro. Like, what?
Japan, I noticed about America. America has stopped growing.
You think?
I think a lot of America has stopped growing. I think like innovation is not like a predominant thing in like Japan. Like things get new things get invented to make their lives easier all the time. Even like when you hang your clothes up outside or certain things, and people use them, and they keep incorporating them, and it keeps the way that Japanese life keeps going up. But I think a lot of places in America, like the way the billboards are, or like things like some things never changed since when I was last there when I was 10 years old.
Right.
But in Japan, I'll go back to Tokyo, I'll go back to Shibuya 2 months later, and it's already a different place.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, I mean, like, and that's due a lot of, America, racism, all that good stuff.
New York has stayed the same for 20 years. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just some of the buildings changed, but it's not like...
But, I mean, the landscape is the same. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I never really thought about that, I guess.
Every time I go to Tokyo, I'm always surprised by something that's new. They have this now?
Yo, speaking about that though, so like you managed to come over here back to the States and like right before, like as it was happening, but like not as it was happening. Like you came, I don't know. I remember hitting you up like, you're here, and you're like, yeah, but I'm leaving. And I'm like, you son of a bitch.
I'm sorry, I only came just as my sister had a baby, and I just wanted to see the baby. Right.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm joking. But what was that like coming from Japan to the States? Like the getting in process. Because like I said, when you came, COVID had literally just started popping. Like it had just started to become a thing. And I know they were talking about...
It was like I came at the end of January.
Right.
And I left at the first week of February.
Right.
So like... actually... Nothing. It wasn't difficult at all. They asked me, have you been to China in the past 14 days? I said, no. They said, okay, that's it.
Oh yeah, we was early in the game then. No.
They're like, have you been in China this the past 14? I was like, no, I haven't been in China ever. And I was like, okay, just let me come in. That's it.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't. I thought they were gonna gas me and spray me down and all. I was ready for for them to quarantine me for at least an hour or so. Take my blood or test me, but nope, not at all.
Did you guys hear anything going on in China, in Japan around that time? Because I mean, China.
I knew COVID-19 was around since the beginning. Like they were already talking about it since beginning of January.
Okay.
Like I thought the whole world knew it was a big thing from January because that's what I was hearing. I already heard about it in China, and I was like, "Oh, okay, the disease popped up."
Oh shit!
So when I get to Japan, I was like, when I got to America, I was like, oh, they're basically not doing anything.
But you said, you said that you said that Japan wasn't really doing anything around that time.
Japan wasn't doing anything either. So I thought it was not that big of a deal. But I knew it was a big deal because the news was talking about it. So like I was just like, okay, so this is a new thing. But at that time, I was wondering, like, was the press, making this to be a much bigger deal than it was? But it turns out they were right. So.
And so, like, all right, everybody's in the house. The entire world is closed. And if I've said it once, I've said it 10 times, and I mean it every time I say it. I never once in my life thought that I would be able to say that the world is closed and that nobody would look at me like I was crazy. Like everybody understands because we're all like dealing and going with it. I don't understand why people don't want to stay inside or like, even when the vaccine comes out, I'm pretty sure a lot of people won't take it, but like, I don't think people understand I think they think the government is trying to get them. But it's not the case. To be honest, I used to think there was someone at the top controlling all the stuff, but after this, I've realized is there actually someone who's controlling all of this? Is somebody like saying to Donald Trump, like, you hired? And nobody, I don't understand who would want him to be in charge, but I agree. I don't feel like this is man-made at all. I feel like this is just one of those things that just happen. But I just feel like men are... the odds of,
if humans are coming much more in contact with wildlife now,
right.
And of course these kind of things happen. We're moving deeper into wildlife territory because we're running out of space.
Right.
So the contact with animals is even more prominent than before, especially now they're cutting into certain rainforests and unveiling creatures that have been asleep for like 10 years and shit like that, So it's just...
I feel like man is doing what man does and is trying to capitalize on the moment of the thing. But yeah, like I don't feel like this is man-made. It's too many variables. It's too widespread. It's too uncontrolled to be a controlled like substance.
Yeah,
like, there's no way. There's no way. It's just one of those things that literally
it's not controlled. I think
right. It's a once in a generation type of thing. Like the Spanish flu happened 100 years ago. Like this is the closest thing we have to it.
It's like, but it's just like, I think people who are against vaccinations or against certain things, they think that people are trying to get them. But like vaccinations they're trying to, it's a little for profit too, but like it's trying to control a virus. Like if we didn't have vaccinations, measles and smallpox and all those really horrible diseases would be much more dangerous right now.
Right.
But vaccinations happen so they can close in the virus so that it doesn't get out anymore.
Right.
So like people say, I don't like vaccinations, like, so that means you're against helping the rest of the world, which is the same thing that's happening with this in America. When they're saying don't go outside, and people are like, but I want to go outside. Like I don't think they understand the gravity of trying how hard it is to keep a virus somewhere because you can't see it and you can't stop it. So the only way you can do it is with some herd immunity and try to block it with immunity and vaccinations. And we don't have time. That takes a lot of time to get a vaccination. So all they have right now is just for people to stay home. But I don't understand why people don't understand that.
For just speaking as an American, Americans are stupid. I mean, there's not really another way to slice it. Like, we're just, like, as a whole, we're not the most intelligent people. And we're very sheltered people. And even if you look at it now, a lot of the let's go outside, you're trampling on my rights thing is happening with white people, right? Like white people are comparing this to slavery. They're saying that their rights are being stripped away and all of these things. And it's just exactly. As I've said once before, like white people want to be slaves so bad. Like they desire to be oppressed in this country. Like, they just want something to, moan about. And so the way that America works is that when white people get upset, things move and things happen. Now that's for the good, that's for the bad. And right now this is for the bad, because the same people that were chanting like Blue Lives Matter and we don't understand why you blacks don't follow directions from the police are now, lining
spitting
up,
spitting
in their faces, chanting and all this other good crap. So it's very much
saying that people who work in the hospital are lying to them when they've worked their whole life.
Right.
Why would someone work their whole life just to deceive people? Some people do that, but the general of nurses and doctors work their whole life to get to where they are, and they're doing it just to lie to you.
Yeah, that's not how this works. So it's I don't know, man. I just want I would like for everybody to follow directions, within reason. Like, if you go outside, exercise.
Well, like, look at Taiwan and look at, South Korea. Like, they're almost past this thing because the citizens, they're like, okay, so this is what we need you guys to do. We need you to stay home because we need time. We need time to test. We need time to do a lot of things. And if you guys are moving around, it's going to make it worse. So just, just stay home. And, like, Taiwan didn't even have to close down. And now it's like they're reporting 0 deaths because they've taken control of the situation.
In defense of these countries, they have leadership that is adequate. We have Donald Trump. And so...
Well, they have decisive,
Exactly. Our president for 2 months said this wasn't real, it was a hoax, and that it was going to blow over. And, here we are.
Well, I partially blame him, but I also partially... It's like... It's not just him, it's all the people who support him too, because they know.
Oh, absolutely.
They know, like his whole team, all these people, they know the truth, but they can't say it. And if you know the truth but not saying, you're lying too. You're lying as well.
Absolutely. Do you know anybody in Japan that has COVID? Or you guys just kind of...
one of my friends, no. I don't know anybody who has COVID.
That's nice.
I know someone who knows someone who's, but I don't want to say that because I don't
know for certain.
I don't know for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's a few people in my city who have it, but it's not an alarming rate.
I legit feel like I said, the Japanese are very healthy people. I just feel like y'all have like all the herbs and spices and everything else you need to like burn it out homeopathically. And it's like, whatever, like, it's like, oh yeah, just drink this, and this, and you'll be fine.
It might be some Japanese people are already autoimmune to this one.
Right.
It could be that one too, because I from what I know, that the death rate is not that high in Japan.
Right. And I've not heard anything about it either. Like, it's not...
I'm not hearing anything about Japan. The only thing I heard about Japan was that cruise ship that got stuck here.
Oh, seems legit. And so, like, bro, like, what is this experience teaching you? Like, what's the hardest thing and the easiest thing about it?
Yeah, well, I love to stay home because, I like to draw and there's a lot of things that I like to do in the house that I can't do outside. So staying home is not a problem for me. But it's teaching me to be even more productive than I already was before. Like, I realized how much time is actually in the day.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of time.
Yo, it's a lot of time, bro.
I'll draw for like 3 hours, and I'll like a few hours, and I'm like, oh, it's only 2:00. What should I do next? And like, I'm really grateful that I can stay home, all the time during this time. So like, I'm really happy that this is happening because now I'm learning things about myself that I didn't know.
I appreciate the creativity, the time to be creative that I have now that I didn't have before. Like,
especially for like, people like you or people like me who our livelihood kind of depends on how our mental state is, right?
Right. What is something that you would like people to know about Japan?
Japan is a place that opens your eyes, that people around you are not always out to get you. If you understand what I mean. I think a lot of people in the States, or a lot of Black people for that matter, think that someone's always trying to get them. But I feel like that is not the case in Japan. I feel like nobody's trying to get me. I can be very comfortable with people I've just met. I don't have to wonder if he's going to try to rob me or like get me or something like that. Like, I think it's a place that opens your eyes to that the rest of the world is not like what you think it is.
I would agree. I miss Japan. I miss the humanity of it all. And so normally I ask people, do they have like a Corona Bay? And you have a whole one of those. But bro, is that a wedding ring? Did you guys get married?
No.
Okay.
Kinda.
Wait, what?
It's like a pre-engagement ring.
Oh, you guys are engaged?
Kinda.
Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
Congrats. No wonder you ain't leaving Japan, because I know he ain't going nowhere. He's definitely not leaving. Like, does he speak English?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
One day in the end game, we already decided that America is probably a place we'll go for, or Canada, because I just want a big yard. That's all.
I want a big yard. You want a yard, period. Like, that would be nice.
I want a huge yard. I want a yard that my dogs can just run outside all day and just be like, hey, come back. You know, I want a place that my pets can be really like happy for the space.
Oh, wait. Here's a question. Oh, wait. You can tell me if you don't feel like comfortable with it. But, like, what's it like being gay in Japan? Like, I didn't really see that big of an issue with it. And I'm told that it's
not like
not
I feel oppressed.
issue.
I don't feel like anyone's going to hate me because I'm gay. It's just like, it's just one of those things. It's just like, not an unspoken thing. It's just like, I'm gay. And they're like, okay. And that's pretty much it.
There's no like,
I mean,
weird
like what else
questions.
are they going to say? What else are they going to say to me?
There's no like weird questions or anything like that. There's no like awkwardness. It's just like, hey.
Well, most of my friends, all of my friends that I hang out with every day, they're straight. So they ask me some questions because they're curious about what it entails. They want to know, like, so what do you guys do? Like how do you meet people? Like, how do you decide who's going to do what or stuff like that? So they're just generally curious people.
Is like homosexuality not like widespread there? Not widespread, but you know
it
what
is. There are lots of gay people. There's a lot of gay people.
So then, how the hell are people confused about like?
It's just that people don't talk about things.
You're right. Facts. Big facts. I forgot where I was talking about.
So like, one thing I was really happy with the States is like I can have real long conversations with people, but that is not the case in Japan. Like you can't really, even my best friends, we'll have real nice conversations, but we won't have like deep. Like I think this kind of conversations. No,
I don't feel like you guys are taught to think that way.
Yeah, no, they're not taught to think they have their own opinion.
Wow, that's deep.
It sounds weird. It sounds like a bad thing. Like they're not taught to, they're not taught to have a different opinion than the people around them. They're taught to all have a similar opinion.
And do you feel like people like believe the thing that they're taught, or do you feel like people go with the thing that they're taught because everybody else is doing it?
It's kind of both. If you ask Japanese, do they believe in God? Some people will say, I don't know, but they still go and pray at a shrine every year on New Year's. It's just because that's what Japanese people do. So that's one of the things I'm talking. You understand what I mean?
Right.
Like maybe they don't believe in God, but they still go to this. They do these certain things on New Year's. They'll go to the shrine and people go pray, and then they do their 2 cents thing and they keep going. It's just because that's what Japanese community does. So that's how they keep it going.
And is this like Christian God, or is this like Shintoism?
No.
Or
It's more. I think it's Buddhism.
Buddhism. Okay, cool. What do you have? Like,
mixed with a bunch of stuff. It's like, to be honest, I don't really know exactly what religion Japanese people have, and I'm pretty sure they don't know either.
Okay.
They just, this is what we do.
You can't see the way the man just looked at the camera.
They don't pray to the God to help them with their problem. They pray to God like, it's like, what do you think my life will be like this year, kind of thing. It's not like, help me please. It's not like that.
It's not like that.
It's not like, God, I need your help. It's not that kind of thing.
I wish more people in the States were like that, especially Black people. But that's some conversations for another conversation.
Everyone in Japan is very similar. I would say that. Not they're similar and not similar. Like they're different people. Everyone's different. They have their own personalities, but the way they think can sometimes be very similar. They agree easy. Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. Okay, let's move on. Whereas those like working with Americans, they'd be like, yeah, but the problem with that is, it's like, no, there's no problem. Just do it.
Do you ever miss being here, man? Or are you just like...
I'm like, it's like half and half. I miss it, but I don't. I don't miss the food in America, but I do miss some food in America. There's some foods I don't miss and some foods I do miss. Like, I thought I used to miss Chinese food, but I really don't, because Chinese food in Japan is amazing.
Japanese food in Japan is amazing.
I know, right? So like, only thing I'm missing is like hamburgers, like a really good hamburger.
You guys have the best fucking hamburgers I have ever had in my life, and this is coming from a person that don't eat meat. Like, dude, no, fuck that. Like, you guys
I know, so that's what I'm confused
you guys
about. Like,
get the drunk cows.
Some of the food that I think I miss, I really don't, because Japan's food in Japan is so good.
Like, what the fuck? Like, I was thoroughly I was like, one of the reasons I was like, I don't know if I want to go to like
Food in
Asia
Japan is
at
amazing.
all. Exactly.
Food in Japan is amazing.
I was like, dude, what am I gonna eat? Because I hate Asian food. Until I got to Japan, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is what this is.
You think you do, but like Japan has so many options. There's so many options that we can't decide what to eat. Especially if you live in Tokyo, you will not be able to decide what to eat because there's too many things to try to eat.
And like those little hole in the wall like eateries, like you go in a building, down the stairs, around the corner, and it's like a little like 50 by 50 space. And you get those rice bowls and those noodle bowls and all that shit. Like, oh my
hella shit.
God.
There's stuff to eat everywhere. And still, there's so much stuff in Tokyo. There's so much stuff. There's so much things in Tokyo. And it doesn't feel clustered, if you understand what I mean. It feels like everything has a place in this place, in this place.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't feel like, I don't know. Like,
hyper organized. It's like hyper organized.
It's just, they put it in a certain place and it's just like, it works. It works really well.
You don't like miss the city? You like being out and like?
Oh, I love being in the countryside.
Okay.
I miss the city because of how easy it is to meet my friends. But it's not at the same time. Japanese people are so difficult to get a hold of because they have busy schedules. They have schedules. Like, you hang out with your friends, you'll need to make a schedule. Like, you'll say, okay, so we'll meet up this time next week. And like, yes, okay. And that's it. And you won't hear from that person. And then they'll be there like, hey, are you here? And they're like, oh, what? Being late is not a thing. Like, you have a schedule, stick to it.
Now you guys are very New York like in that way.
Like, if I say I'm gonna meet you at 7
New York
o'clock,
like,
it means I'm gonna meet you at 7 o'clock.
Right.
And you better send me a message 10 minutes earlier saying you're gonna be 2 minutes or 5 minutes late. If you tell me you're gonna be 30 minutes late, I'm gonna be like, what? You should have told me that 2 hours ago.
I remember Kenny was supposed to be meeting you somewhere.
I was heated.
You were heated, bro.
I was like, dude.
He was like 15 minutes late. You were heated, bro.
It's just like, you know, he was like 30 minutes late, and it's just like, man, you can't, like, you have to tell somebody if you're not gonna be there at the arranged time, and that's how it is in Japan. So I just thought everybody thought that way.
No, we're American, bro. Like, shit happens, and you gotta give them grace. Like, I mean, the niggas riding the train. We don't know how to read this shit, okay? Like, you mad at, like, foreigners for, like, getting lost in a foreign city. Like, bro, come on now.
Yeah, it's easy. It says number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and they're like...
No, it says number 1, squiggly line, comma, slash. And then number 2, squiggly line, comma, slash. And then some other shit I can't read. No. And a degree sign.
They have an Obi sign for a station. It has the Japanese one. It has the easy for kids to read sign in Japanese. They have the English sign. They even have numbers. So like, it's just like, and it's in order. It's not like.
And I still got lost.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I
Look at it.
still got lost.
Go to the left.
And I still got lost.
Actually, New York's train system was so simple. I got lost.
Really?
It was too simple. Like it was like, so how do I get to 51st Street? It's like, just go straight. I was like, what? What do you mean? That's it? Yeah, just get on the number 1 train and just go straight. I'm like, okay.
You guys' trains, like if you don't choose the right train, you don't know that you might get charged extra from riding the train because it changes tracks or some shit while you on the train, and you have to know that it's not the same train after a certain stop because then. And I was like, bro, I just put money on this card. Just let me on the train. What is wrong? What is wrong?
It's that I think the Japanese train system is
That's so because easy. You live there.
So easy. So easy.
Fuck that. It's because you live there.
You just have to remember what line, like, you have to remember all the hundreds of train lines that there are, and remember the thousands of train stations.
Fuck you.
Okay. I'm good at that kind of thing. So you tell me you need to get here, I can tell you right now. All right, so you need to take this train, that train. Then get on this train. Get on the bus at this time.
And the amount of interchanges is mind blowing. Like, I was like, oh my god! But I still have my have my Suica card, by the way.
On average, most people on average transfer 4 times in order to get where they need to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I still love the transit system because it was amazing. It was flawless. It was impeccable, and it was on time.
It's on time. It's on time.
And that was just what more can you ask for? It's just the train to be there
in Japan is on time. They'll tell you it's gonna. The train says it's gonna be there at 32. It's gonna be there at 32. If it's not, it would apologize. Like, I'm so sorry, the train is late. and if it's late, they always say the reason why it's late.
Very true.
And even if it's late, they'll say you can take this route, and they'll help you try to get where you need to go. Like they'll like tell you which way you need to go in order to get where you need to go. You can, and it's free because they made a mistake, so you'll just get another train and pay for it.
I have a love-hate relationship with Japanese transit, and we just gonna leave it at that because I don't know.
Too many people.
No, the people isn't a thing. I don't care about the people. It was just like I said. It was if you ride this train past a certain stop, it turns into a different train, even though you didn't get off the train, and you have to pay more because the train changed, and you didn't know that. And then to go back again, you have to pay. It was just like that was my only.
Got caught in the trap.
It just was a trap. It was a tourist trap, and I was like, whatever. But still, very impeccable, very.
When you say that, I think about how much money they're making just because tourists keep making mistakes.
Very sneaky. Sneaky.
Actually, when I think about it, they must get y'all really good. They get y'all good. You went to this station. Sorry, you got to pay another $1.
I literally was that situation that happened to me. And I was getting frustrated because there was a language barrier and he wasn't understanding what I was saying and I wasn't understanding what he was saying. And I was like, I really mad and started cursing, but I was like, you know what? It is not his.
He wasn't mad, was it? He was like, but you gotta.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. He wasn't mad. He was actually kind of condescending, but but I had to remember 3 things. Number 1, it is not my fault that. It is not his fault that he does not speak my language in his country. First of all.
Yes.
Number 2,
he didn't make the mistake.
He didn't make the mistake. I did, right? And I have to take ownership and accountability of the fact that I made the mistake, even though in this situation the mistake was warranted. It don't matter. Like, this is what happened, and this is what it is. So I had to talk myself.
Make that mistake no
exactly.
more.
I had to talk myself down because I was literally 3 seconds from being like the angry black guy, in the middle of a Japanese.
That happens a lot, and I think it becomes a bad image, and that's another bad image that happens for black people. I guess black people get heated very easily.
We do.
You very easily, and that causes a disruption. And like I told you, when disruptions happen in Japan, they're very obvious. People see it. It's not like something like a person arguing across the street. You just keep walking. Like, no, everybody's gonna watch, and it paints an image.
Yes, and I had to work very hard to talk myself down because I was very frustrated, and it was just like. But the beautiful part is, it's just one of those things that happens when you travel. And it's one of those things that happen, especially when you travel to a place where you don't speak the language of that place. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it is what it is, but you just have to kind of be okay with it because what other option do you have? You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those things. So,
like, you even see how, like, we're talking. We're not loud right now.
Right.
But if we were talking like this on the train, everyone would be looking at us like, why are you guys so loud?
Exactly. Well, no, we're black, so they would be like, until you start speaking Japanese, and they'd be like, oh, so you know better. And it would be like a thing. Oh, man.
Sorry.
Hey, yo.
And then they like, you can speak English? Wow. And Japanese too? Wow. They love it. They're like,
that is pretty fucking amazing. I'm not even gonna lie.
No. But like, for Japanese people, like, Kenzo, you can speak English? Like, they're surprised that I can speak English.
What did they think you would speak outside of?
No, but like they're not surprised, but they think it's cool that I can speak English, and so they really they like people who can speak English. A lot of people in Japan want to learn English.
I don't know. I do miss it, kind of, sort of. But look,
well, it's easy. It's easy if you're willing to not get upset about everything, because there are things that's gonna make you upset. But it's Japanese people say shoganai. It means just, it can't be helped. and they just move on with it. Like, you'll be mad, and then the boss will come like, Kenzo, Shogunai. And you'll be like, okay, and that's it.
Shogunai? Like, he can't help it? Like, that's just it. That's it? That's all you got?
The situation could not be helped, so just keep going. That's what they'll say. And when you say this, everyone's like, you're right. Let's do it, you know? Shogunai.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have learned a new Japanese word if you didn't know anything else. It's shogunai. And that means, my nigga, it is what it is. Let it go. And so there you go.
Yeah, it is what it is. Just let it go. Let it go. It is what it is. And just keep going, you know? Shogunai.
A-OK, dog, I want to thank you for jumping on the pod.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry it took so long to get me.
I mean, you know, time differences and things. It's cool. It's fucking cool, man. Trust me. I mean, like, you do live a good 10,000 miles away, so it's fine.
Right.
It's fine. Technology, wonderful.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So once again, thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
And guys, we are out. Peace. That's it, guys. Thanks for listening. You can follow us on the Instagrams at TheOVTNetwork. And you can follow me, JC, at JC from TheOVT. Very simple, right? This podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, and pretty much everywhere in between. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and rate us 5 stars if you were so inclined. Thank you. Quarantine Talks is a podcast that is also available on YouTube. Just type in The OVT Network and hit subscribe for all of the latest and greatest from we at The OVT. Lastly, we are an independent and Black-owned media network, guys. So if you enjoyed the content and you would like to drop a donation, you may do so on Cash App or the Venmo at TheOVTNetwork. All one word, TheOVTNetwork. Quarantine Talks is edited and produced by me, JC, with original music produced by Brian Hatton. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Stay safe, stay creative, and most importantly, stay sane. Find your peace, man. It's crazy out here. Laters.